Yo, what's going on, my fellow gamers? Godsend Killer here, bringing you guys a video on a topic that's been on my head for a while now, and that is VR gaming. Now, as we know, VR gaming has been, really popular in the gaming community right now. It's been on everybody's minds, whether you love it or you hate it or you just somewhere in between. People have been talking about VR gaming. The HTC Vive just came out. I believe Oculus Rift came out not too long ago. PlayStation VR is coming out, so I figured I kind of share my thoughts in it. And of course, I encourage you guys to do the same in the comments below. But before we get into that, you guys are going to be seeing a little bit of Star Wars Battlefront and a little bit of Evolve gameplay. Normally, I've been playing a lot of Evolve, but I had this Star Wars gameplay just saved up on my hard drive, and it was kind of just taking up space. So I figured, hey, why not use it? So you're going to see a little bit of good old Stormtrooper gameplay and also Lord Vader gameplay. So hopefully you guys do enjoy what you see in the background as we talk about VR. But anyways, VR gaming. We already know these headsets are out. At least most of them are out. The PlayStation VR isn't out yet, but it is coming out rather soon. And the Oculus Rift and HTC Vive, even the Samsung, I believe, it's like a phone type of headset you can get. Even the phone company is just trying to cash into this. It's the next big fad. But is it something that's going to be good? Now, when I first saw these headsets, I was kind of like, I didn't know what to think to them, to be honest. I kind of had mixed opinions. I'm like, okay, it seems like it might be cool, but what can they do with these headsets? Like, what is it that they can actually do? And as we see more games, I just started to notice that these games don't look like anything too impressive. They kind of look like indie games, and I don't mean no disrespect to any type of indie developers, because indie games can be fun, but I was kind of hoping for something a little bit different. When I'm hearing VR, I was hoping that maybe they can have some cool AAA, experiences to kind of show us. And quite frankly, I just haven't seen any of that yet. Even with these headsets, or some of these headsets anyway, being released, I just, we haven't seen anything. So I wasn't really that impressed. And honestly, I was on board with a lot of other gamers that, were saying, hey, I think this is just a fad and it's gonna go out really soon, like 3D TVs and stuff. It's not gonna be something that lasts long. I was kind of on that side, I guess you should say. But then I seen something that kind of got me a little bit excited for VR, and you're probably seeing it on screen right now. And that is Sword Art Online: The Beginning. I believe that's actually the title of the game. Now, for you guys that may not know, Sword Art Online is a really popular anime, I would say. Some people love it, some people hate it, but to try to make it short and sweet for those people that don't watch anime, it's pretty much an anime that's based around a MMORPG type of role. And their timeline, they kind of have technology that puts them into the game where they can experience it the best way possible, but something goes wrong where the characters get stuck in the game, and if they die in the game, they die in real life, which sucks. But the cool part is them actually being put into the game. And so when I've heard that this was coming out, I'm not the biggest fan of Sword Art Online, but it made me think about the possibilities. I'm like, okay, well, if they can make something like this a reality, what else can they actually do? Because up until this point, I haven't really seen anything that was like super impressive. Sure, we've seen cool stuff like, with horror games, people being scared very easily because you have a headset over your eyes. It's kind of hard not to be scared when you have something like that on you. But we haven't seen anything really major, at least as of yet anyway. So the fact that I see that these guys are trying to make a Sword Art Online game, which is a massive multiplayer online, this kind of got me intrigued into VR, because I'm thinking, okay, if this is possible and it ends up coming out kind of close to the anime, it's not going to, of course, be super identical to the anime because we don't have that technology to really put ourselves into the game. But if they can get really close, then other things are possible with VR. Imagine a Elder Scrolls type of game like a Skyrim 2 being on VR, Fallout, or even some of your favorite shooter games where they can really put you into these worlds. Have you ever played laser tag before, or airsoft or paintball? Well, I can imagine shooter games kind of being like that. being in the world of freaking Skyrim, getting lost in caves, fighting trolls. I mean, it might sound kind of nerdy, but that would be kind of cool to be able to experience these type of stuff with VR. Now, the problem is that we just haven't really seen anything like this yet, and I believe there was an article that came out recently on PCGamer.com where a developer said that something like Skyrim might actually take a while, and of course, I believe that. I believe that it's going to take a while because I think developers and publishers are going to see how much money they're going to make with these headsets, and if gamers are taking it seriously, because it could very well just fade away like 3D TVs, or other fads have kind of just come and go. It could very easily go down that route, especially with the price points. The price points with VR is pretty high right now. The HTC Vive, I believe, is $800. Oculus Rift, I think, is $600. PlayStation 4 being the cheapest one. PlayStation 4 VR that is being $400, but that's like buying another PlayStation 4. So these VR headsets are definitely not cheap right now, at least not to the average consumer. Somebody that's rich, of course, they can probably do it, or just very wealthy, I should say. But for the average guy, it's really, that's a hard investment for us. So that you don't even know if you're going to be playing long term. And the games right now, some of them may be fun, but I don't think there's any games that I think guys that are playing on PC and consoles that play like AAA games a lot of the time, they probably won't be taking too seriously. So it's looking like a hard investment. But if they can get to that point where they feel like it's worth it to put more development time, more man hours into these games, and where they can have our favorite games brought to us in VR, that could end up being something amazing, honestly. And I support VR if this is possible. If this can really be done, I really hope that VR is successful, because that's something that I would like to experience. And I know, again, some people aren't going to want to do that. They'd rather just play with their controller or their keyboard and mouse. But for me personally, if I can get put into Skyrim with VR, or sort of online, being a MMO type of role, and feeling like I'm actually in control of the character, like I am the character, then that would be pretty awesome. But that's just me. But anyways, this is where you guys come in. Let me know how you feel about VR so far. Again, for me, I think it's kind of hard to invest right now with what games they have shown us. But I think the possibilities for VR could be really dope, could be awesome, So you guys let me know how you feel about it. You think it's something that you want to see be successful, or you think it's going to be a fad? Do you hate it? Let me know all the good stuff in the comments below. But until next time, you guys take it easy. Laters.